Without a doubt one of the most powerful doujutsu in all of the works. But do you really know all the powers of the Rinnegan? The power of the Rinnegan has passed through several people and each of them had some different power. So if you do not remember all the powers of the Rinnegan, come with me that in today's video we will see the power of each Rinnegan in Naruto. The Rinnegan is a doujutsu inherited by the Otsutsuki clan. Although this is a doujutsu exclusive to aliens, humans are currently able to awaken the Rinnegan due to their bloodlines with the Otsutsuki clan. But even so it is a very rare jutsu, awakened by very few ninjas. And guys, so far in the anime we've had 8 people with the Rinnegan powers, so let's see the Rinnegan powers of each one of them. Starting the list with Madara, who awakened the Rinnegan only when he was old and couldn't use it anymore. But anyway, Madara awakened the Rinnegan because he managed to possess the chakra of Indra and Ashura and also because he had gone through a process of near death. And thanks to these 2 things, he fulfilled the requirements to awaken the Rinnegan. But because he was old, he passed the power of the Rinnegan to Nagato. But even though he was old, Madara still had the ability to summon the Gedomazo statue. And since Madara was old, we could only see the powers of his Rinnegan in Nagato's possession, because Madara had passed his Rinnegan to him because Nagato was an Uzumaki, and because of that, he had huge chakra reserves that would be able to keep the eye in good condition and also to withstand the power of the doujutsu. And that's when we started to see the powers of Madara's Rinnegan in Nagato's eyes, because with this doujutsu, Nagato was able to do the invocation of the Gedomazo statue and also had access to the power of the 6 paths. Nagato unfortunately couldn't use the power of the 6 paths because he was too weak to use it, so he separated the power of the 6 paths into 6 bodies so that he could control each one. Thus, Nagato separated his power into them and called them the 6 paths of pain. Each of these paths had a name and a power. They were the Ashura path, which is the path capable of creating weapons with his body, Naraka path, which interrogated and restored the damage that the other pain suffered, Human path, which can suck the soul of whoever it touches, Animal path, which makes invocations, Black path, which absorbs ninjutsu and chakra, and the strongest among them was the Deva path, the one that had Yahiko's body and the power to control gravity with Shinra Tensei. In addition, Nagato also had access to the 7th path, which was the outer path. With this path, he has the power to control life and death, that is, he has the power to resurrect whoever he wants just like he did at the end of his fight against Naruto, where he resurrected all the people he had killed during the attack on Konoha. And on top of that, Pain still gets Chibaku Tensei, which is one of the most powerful sealing jutsus of all. And after Nagato eventually died, Obito took his Rinnegan to complete the infinite Tsukuyomi. That being the case, Obito got all the powers of the Rinnegan that Nagato had. In other words, there is nothing different. After all, the 2 had the same eyes. But an interesting thing to point out is that Obito also separated the power of the 6 paths in 6 bodies, only he didn't take some random bodies, but the Edo Tensei of each one of the Jinchuriki. Just imagine guys, besides having their powers as Jinchuriki, they still had the powers of the 6 paths. Imagine how appealing it is. In the end, Madara ended up taking Obito's eye to complete the infinite Tsukuyomi. This Rinnegan of Madara's has come a long way. It was first awakened by Madara, then passed to Nagato, then stolen by Obito and finally returned to Madara. Now moving to the end of the war, we have Sasuke who also awakened the Rinnegan. He was able to awaken the Rinnegan after receiving half of Hagoromo's spirit. With this doujutsu, Sasuke was able to have all the powers of the 6 paths. It's just a shame that he doesn't use it much. But besides having the 6 paths, Sasuke gets some abilities that have never been shown by other Rinnegan users. One of them is Ameno Tajikura, which is that super cool Sasuke technique where he focuses on a target and then switches positions with it. Another power of the Rinnegan that Sasuke gains is the space-time ninjutsu. With this, he can travel through other dimensions like Kaguya's, Momoshiki's, Kara's, and many other dimensions. Another distinguishing feature of Sasuke's Rinnegan is that he can combine the Rinnegan with his Mangekyou Sharingan. This makes his eye 6 tomo and gives him the ability to use the powers of the Rinnegan in conjunction with the Sharingan. In other words, through this eye Sasuke can use Genjutsu and the as if it were a Mangekyou Sharingan. Now moving on to the Otsutsuki clan, I will start by talking about Hagoromo's Rinnegan. He awakened this doujutsu due to the bloodline of his mother Kaguya who possessed the Rinnesharingan. The first time the Rinnegan manifested in Hagoromo was during the fight with his brother Hamura, who was being controlled by Kaguya to kill Hagoromo. We didn't see him using his doujutsu powers much, but it is certain that Hagoromo had one of the most powerful Rinnegan of all, because it was shown in a flashback that he and his brother were able to defeat Kaguya and Jubi at the same time. Also, he was shown to be able to use the outer path when he brought the souls of all the dead Kage to Earth. So since he is able to use the outer path, we conclude that he could use the power of the 6 paths using only his body. And guys, having the power of the 6 paths in only one body is something much more advantageous. We see this clearly in Nagato Edo Tensei, because in this form Nagato was able to use the power of the 6 paths in only one body. And to defeat him, it was necessary to join Itachi, Naruto and B to be able to seal Nagato. Yeah, imagine how appealing Hagoromo must have been with the 6 paths. In the Boruto anime, another being that was also able to use the Rinnegan was Momoshiki, who had a red-colored Rinnegan. Only instead of having the Rinnegan in his eyes, he had it in his hands. With his Rinnegan in his hand, Momoshiki had the distinction of being able to absorb any kind of ninjutsu with the power of his Rinnegan. Only when Momoshiki feeds on the soul of his partner, Kinshiki, he transforms and gains a Rinnegan in the middle of his forehead. In addition, his eye becomes yellow in color. With this, he enhances all the abilities of his doujutsu, especially his Shinra Tensei, which was able to push Sasuke and the 5 Kage at the same time. After Momoshiki was defeated, we saw the Konoha ninja fighting Urashiki, who also had possession of the Rinnegan. Urashiki is a guy who boasts doujutsu, because he can blend some variations of the Rinnegan. The first Rinnegan he uses is the red-colored one that gives him the ability to create a dimensional rift and travel between it. The other Rinnegan he uses is the blue color. With this Rinnegan he is able to have the ability to predict attacks before they even happen. In addition, he gains the ability to use a jutsu that he teleports before the enemy even hits him. And after eating his eyes, Urashiki is able to make a transformation similar to Momoshiki's. With this transformation, he gets a yellow Rinnegan right in the middle of his forehead. This new Rinnegan gave him the ability to enhance his powers and also to create chakra receptors to aid in battle. But in addition to these, there is still a totally unexpected being who possesses a red Rinnegan. And this being is none other than Ten Tails. We don't get to see him using Rinnegan powers, but this doujutsu certainly collaborates a lot to make the beast the strongest of all. Also worth mentioning here is the Rinnesharingan. After all, this doujutsu is kind of a fusion of the Sharingan with the Rinnegan. In the anime we saw Madara and Kaguya using it. With Rinnesharingan, the user gains the ability to open dimensional cracks to travel between dimensions, and mainly, can do the infinite Tsukuyomi, the most powerful genjutsu in all the works. There are several super appealing Rinnegans, but incredible as it may seem, you have an even greater power. Yes, you have the power to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. So, I ask for your collaboration so that you leave your like and subscribe to the channel, because this way you contribute to the videos here on the channel and help the Naruto community grow even more. Let's go! We will fill this YouTube with Naruto videos. So for that, leave your like and subscribe to the channel to help. On screen there